Shavua Tov Parashat Terumah. What is the one element without which one can never succeed at anything at all? It is written in this week's Parsha. It's very obvious. It's even, according to the Kabbalists, the name of the world upon which we live. And what is it? So let's go dig in a little bit. We are commanded, first of all, to construct the sanctuary. And many rabbis ask, how is this even possible? How should this be a thing? Because the sanctuary implies that God dwells within that sanctuary. But doesn't God's glory fill the universe? How can we say that there is a sanctuary? So the answer is, there are many answers, but one answer is that it is true. God's glory fills the universe, but we don't perceive of that. We are not spiritually strong enough to perceive God's presence in everything. So therefore, we need a sanctuary which is constructed to be spiritually attuned to our awareness of God, so that when we enter the sanctuary, then we feel the Shekhinah, the divine presence. So indeed, God's presence fills the universe, but we will feel it in the sanctuary, and this is hinted at in a verse that seems to be a grammatical mistake. What is the verse that seems to be a grammatical mistake? We have one other grammatical mistake to deal with, or seeming grammatical mistake to deal with in this Dvar Torah. The verse is, V'asu li migdash v'shachanti betocham, they shall make for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell in them. Wait, shouldn't it say, I will dwell in it, in the sanctuary? What does it mean, in them? And that's exactly the answer. They shall make for me a sanctuary, and then my divine spirit will not be in the sanctuary, it will be in the people who come to the sanctuary and get inspired. So therefore we have a hint to that answer in the verse. But that's not the only grammatical mistake or seeming mistake in the Parsha. There is another word that seems to be the wrong word. In the verse describing the fact that the people need to make their contributions of gold and silver and other precious items to construct the sanctuary, the Torah says, speak to the children of Israel, God says to Moses, speak to the children of Israel, and they shall take for me their contributions. Take for me? Isn't it give? Don't you give a contribution? You don't take a contribution. So what does that mean? And then it continues, whoever's heart is generous, tikhu et terumati, take my contribution. Wow, that's a strange phrasing. It should be give, or at least, if we're talking about generous people, it should say kablu, accept. What do you mean take? So I believe it was Rav Moshe Feinstein says, indeed, take here could mean by force. The word to take implies I'm going and I'm taking. You may give, you may not give. I'm taking anyway. In other words, there's a certain amount of force that needs to be applied here. Why force? Well, he gives an interesting answer about character. The rabbis give the example of somebody who wants to say, I'm going to keep all of the Torah and the mitzvahs because I don't like all those things that are forbidden anyway. I don't like pig, I don't like meat and milk, I don't like violating Shabbos, I don't like this, I don't like that. And therefore, that's why I keep Torah mitzvahs. It's easy for me. I don't have to do anything I don't like. The rabbis say this is not the right approach. The right approach is to say, I want to eat that ham and cheese sandwich, but what can I do? God has decreed. So says Rav Moshe, that is when it's dealing with commandments that are simply, pleasureful things that we are forbidden to do. But when it deals with character, then we always have to want to be good. In other words, a person should not say, I want to be stingy, I want to be dishonest, I want to be cruel and hurtful, but what can I do? God said. No, a person should say, I want to be kind and generous and honest and all of these good things. And so this, giving charity, is an example of that somebody might have that evil inclination to say, I don't want to give charity, but I will because God said so. The Torah is teaching us, Terumah, they shall take from themselves, they shall force themselves to look at this in the correct way and to realize that they have to be, they have to be generous as their human nature, as their character, because we are supposed to pursue good character. Okay, that's one possible explanation. I'd like to suggest another one. And using the same idea of veikhu, they have to take it from them. Why? I'll tell you. And this is the simple explanation, the thing that we need to succeed in everything in life, without which nothing happens. And it is indeed the name of our universe, the name of our planet. And that is, we have to do it. Of course you have to do it. Not so simple. A lot of times we talk about stuff. We talk about, I want to do right, I want to do honest, I want to do mitzvot, I want to improve, I want to this, I want to that. We talk, and we really believe it, and we really mean it, but it doesn't happen. And that is the first and most important thing. We have to take action. It's not enough. Not enough to just want to. There is a saying that the rabbis say that that God adds the good thought to the good deed. Mitzarefa. The tzaref could mean to add on. It could also mean to purify, that if a person has a good thought, that they get reward for the good thought, even if they didn't do it, which may be true, may not be true, but I think the word also means litzaref, to add it on. In other words, that if you spent the whole day doing good thoughts, and you don't take the action, I don't know that you get such reward for that. But if you spend the whole day doing good thoughts of doing a mitzvah, doing a good deed, and then you do the good deed, then I think you get double reward. Reward for the deed and reward for the thoughts as well. I think that's what the rabbis are telling us. Because good thoughts are not just the province of good people. The rabbis tell us that Rishaim, evil people, Male'ei charatot, they're always filled with regrets. No evil person doesn't think, boy, I really should stop doing all that evil stuff and I really should start doing all the good stuff. No, they think that. They have those regrets, but they end up not doing it. So what do we see? That the action is the king here. And I think that's implicit in this world, which is called in the Kabbalistic terms, Olam Ha'asiyah, the world of actions. It's not enough to do words. We must take actions. There's a scene in the movie about the capture of Eichmann, Yamach Shemo v'Zichro, where they captured him. He was posing as some kind of a businessman, and he was. It's been decades, so I don't know if I'm going to quote it exactly correctly, but more or less the gist was they caught him. He was posing as a Argentinian businessman, I believe. He was, when they caught him, he was continuing to deny that he was Eichmann. And he was putting on a whole show. He was a victim. He was weak. He wasn't able. He was this. He was that. And they had the Mossad agents who were holding him had a brilliant idea. They made him put on elements of a uniform, a hat, I think the shirt or the jacket or something like that. And as soon as he put those on, his body language changed. And he became the monster in front of our eyes. Because when you take action, that causes a change. And that's what I think the Torah is telling us. It's telling us straightforward. V'asu li migdash. They shall make for me a sanctuary. V'shachanti b'tocham. And then I will dwell in their midst. They need to take action, and then I will dwell in their midst. So therefore the verse is telling us, V'yikhu, you shall take from them. Because sometimes people need a little bit of a push before they make the action. They are yidvenu libo. They're people of generous character. They want to give, but they don't get to it. So you need to give them a little push. And I think this is also implicit in something that happened at Mount Sinai. According to the rabbis, when God came to give the Israelites the Torah, so he had to hold the mountain above them and say to them, if you accept the Torah, good. If not, plop, there will be your graves. And the commentaries ask, why was this necessary? Didn't the Israelites say just before, Kol asher diber Hashem naaseh, whatever God says, we will do. We will do and we will learn. So they were willing, they were happy to accept the Torah. Why did God have to force them? Maybe because of this exact thing. They had the good character, they had the good intentions, but they may have been a little bit on the lazy side. And God had to give them that push. So too, I think here, V'yikhu, give them the push to do more, because the more they do, the more they will grow spiritually. And that is the secret to success in life. It's taking action. It's getting started. It's getting off of our tuchis and out and hitting that treadmill, learning that daf, starting that new project, whatever it is, start, take actions, and God will bless us with his Shekhinah. Shavuot Tov.